Welcome back to News Junkies. I'm Bill DeFoi. Thank you for joining us. And joining me right now is Jennifer Finnerty, and she is the Executive Director of the Loving Heart Hospice Foundation. And Jennifer, welcome in here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about hospice care. What is it and who do you serve?
So, we always like to say that we are the ending that you would want to have. And so we serve families and patients with end-of-life care. And that can be a whole range of services. I think people often feel when there's when someone's put on hospice that the end of life is near, and sometimes that's true and sometimes that's not true. And so that can be respite care in a skilled nursing facility. It can be caregiving, caregiver relief. It can be burial assistance, medications not covered by insurance. We're small and we're very local. And we're non-bureaucratic, I like to say, so we can really individualize the needs of our patients and families.
Well, a little bit later on, we'll give out your website and phone numbers and all of that. But you said that there are different levels of service. You could have the palliative care or extended care. You could have people that really have a definitive lifespan that you're helping out. How do you determine what kind of assistance you're going to render to an individual?
We have a very comprehensive team that goes out and meets with our patients and our families, and we really find out where that patient's at and what's going on and what care is most immediately needed, and then we kind of base the medical plan off of that. So sometimes there's burnout going on. We have an elderly person who's needing a lot of full-time care. There's not a lot of support system within their family structure to do that. And so one of the things that we do is we have a wonderful caregiving company, and they can come in and just give some relief to...
Well, sometimes it's my understanding that caregivers need to have some care, and they need to have essentially time off.
Absolutely. That saying, you're only as good as, how you take care of yourself. And so we really don't want our caregivers to burn out because they really are the first place for those patients. So we have trained caregivers that are background checked and can go in and work with geriatric patients and really understand how to care for patients of end of life. We really want the patients to be comfortable and for their quality of life to be good.
Now, you're based in East County, and you cover all of Ventura County.
We do. We have our corporate offices are in Moore Park. We have a 10-bed facility in Moore Park as well. And I use that word facility loosely because actually I would invite you to come out anytime. It's a beautiful home that's been converted into a facility. It's 10 beds. We're mostly all the time full. It's absolutely stunning. I mean, we have an RN on staff 24/7, a medical director, obviously, a chef. I mean, wood floors and granite countertops. It's the most beautiful end-of-life home you'll ever see in this county. So,
oh, that sounds wonderful. Now, for families that have somebody with an individual that is in extended care, how do you approach them as opposed to somebody that has, really a more of a shorter lifespan?
It is very comprehensive. I mean, that comes with the evaluation of the patient initially to see where they're at and where is best for them in that moment. Sometimes the family's still at home and the patient's still at home, and they want to be home, and so we want to try to accommodate that, and we do accommodate that when we can. And then sometimes a patient's care gets so comprehensive that we need to put them into a facility, and we'd love to put them in ours. Oftentimes we're full, but if we are full, we work on finding placement for them.
So do you work with other facilities, and I take it in Ventura County?
Absolutely, yes, a lot of other facilities. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, I want to get into another aspect of what you're here about and why you're here on the program today, and that's because you're involved in the Salsa Festival coming to the city of Oxnard later in the month of July, and one of your people is going to actually be a contestant.
Yes, we're very excited to be the first East County charity represented in the Salsa Festival here in lovely Oxnard. And we're the first hospice charity in the Salsa Festival, in the history of the Salsa Festival. So that's very exciting for us. And we have a dancer. Her name is Mary Jo Fuentes Lesti, and she's dancing for us. And she actually lived in Mexico City for 10 years, so salsa becomes very natural to her, and she's been paired up with her professional dance partner. And so we're excited. We're super excited. She's excited. She's been practicing.
Oh my gosh, has she shared with you at all about the joys and maybe even the frustrations of training?
Yes, especially for her, she's a nurse herself, and so she is incredibly busy. And so for her to even take on this venture was huge. And she's the busiest woman I know, I think. And so she practices a couple times a week, obviously perfecting their skill. And then she's been working on the choreography with her professional dance partner as well. So it's been quite a commitment.
That is quite a commitment. They'll be out at the Salsa Festival in the month of July over in Plaza Park here in Oxnard, and that's going to be a sight to see in itself.
I know. I'm so excited. I have never been to the Salsa Festival. I'm a lifelong county girl, and so I've obviously gotten up to speed really quickly. And the website's amazing. And maybe I can give it if
You
folks,
sure can.
It's oxnardsalsafestival.com, and I was so impressed with the website. I emailed their executive director this week and I said, I am so impressed with your website. It's got great information, and what a great festival for this community.
Well, wonderful, and we look forward to seeing your dancer out there at the Salsa Festival. I want to wrap up by having you be given the opportunity to give out your phone number and your address so that people that have those end-of-life issues with a loved one, perhaps for themselves, can get a hold of your organization and have an opportunity to do some interfacing with you.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. Our local phone number is area code 805-222-4673. That goes directly into my office. Our website is lovinghhfoundation.com. We have a Facebook page, Loving Heart. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, all those social media outlets. And I also wanted to mention, Bill, if you don't mind, the foundation, we raise money. One of the reasons we're in the Salsa Festival is to help patients financially. So end-of-life care is very expensive. And I think we all would like to think that we're going to get to that point in our lives and we're all going to have long-term care insurance and we're all going to be taken care of, and that just isn't the case, obviously, for everybody. And so that's what the foundation does, is we support patients financially. So if we can ever serve anyone in that regard, please feel free to reach out to us.
Wonderful. That's good information, because you're absolutely right. You come down to these end-of-life issues, not only the hospice care, but there are burial expenses, all kinds of things that go along with that. You had mentioned early on medications. They can be quite costly, and certain insurances may not cover everything.
Absolutely.
Especially, in an advanced age and you might be on Medicare. Some of those plans, they're limited in scope.
Absolutely. I think I only know of one other charity in the county that offers burial assistance anymore. It is just an unmet need that we just don't have resources for, and so that is something that we're able to do. And so if people need to reach out to us for that, I invite them to do so. All
right, excellent. For the record, one more time, your phone number and your web address.
Phone number 805-222-4673, and our website, lovinghhfoundation.com.
Thank you very much. Jennifer Finnerty has been our guest. I'm Bill DeFoi. Thank you for joining us here on News Junkies, a production of the Heritage Media Group.